Reckon and Rappin', a podcast with a purpose? I still am not Chris Cooper. Instead, I am Ben Cooper, and I am joined with Alex Cooper. And this keep Chris's thing going. So, punch. It's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure that you'll find the things that I'll teach you is sure to beat you. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from the teacher now. Kick. Chop. Block. Once more now. Kick. Punch. Chop. And block. Thought you guys were going to do the call and response. You played freaking Parappa.
Well, for Parappa the Rapper?
I don't know if I've ever actually played Parappa the Rapper.
I never played the full game. I always played the demo of that game.
Was that even from the game, or was that from Robot Chicken?
That's Mr. Onion's first rap in Parappa.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you're like that dog thing. Yeah, the demo you played the first level, I guess.
Parappa the Rapper is a dog, man. Like that is
a dog, and
yeah, I never understood that game.
Astrobot just dropped for the PlayStation 5, and Amio Amingo or whatever, the Maracas game.
Never played that one.
That was a Maracas game, but Astrobot just dropped for the PS5, and one of like the pre-order special characters is a skin for Parappa, and then the last character you unlock is his sensei. So Parappa apparently still holds ground with PlayStation, but I guess I'm going to go with rapping.
Rapping or whatever.
You must choose one.
I'm going to say whatever.
Well, I mean, he is a rapper, so it's going to be.
I timed it right. I didn't have the little press the buttons.
Your intonation wasn't correct. You had to kick,
you didn't have the square X and circle coming up on his screen for when he had to hit the button.
Yeah, like DDR or Guitar Hero or.
Yeah.
I guess actually Parappa was the first.
Punch, kick.
Yeah, that was the first for all of those.
I don't know. DDR might have been an arcade game before that. I think that was the first at-home button thing.
But Parappa was PS1, right?
Yeah.
So that's way back.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It might have been an arcade game. Like you might have been able to go to arcades and play DDR.
Oh, okay.
So like it might have existed as a concept, and then so they rather than use the dance pad, which I mean you saw they make for the PlayStation and all that, which weren't great. They figured out how to do it with a controller, and so rather than have dance moves, they had punching and kicking, because that's what X and triangle and all were universally known for in the PlayStation.
Like DDRs. The newest one came out in June of 24, and it was first released in November of 98.
When was Parappa the Rapper released? We'll quell this conversation.
Yes.
Figure out which one was first.
We're just going off the rails from the beginning.
Parappa the Rapper
96
was 1997.
In America, 96.
Yeah, worldwide.
So Parappa
the Rapper debuted before DDR. What a world.
Yes. We talk about Baobab trees today. Or Baobab. I prefer the pronunciation.
Baobab?
Baobab. What do you guys know about Baobab trees?
It's one of the largest trunk trees, and it's native to Africa
and Madagascar. It's also the known as the upside down tree and the tree of life.
Yeah, but Madagascar is in Africa.
But
I thought Madagascar was an island.
Yeah, but like it's like saying New Zealand's not a part of Australia. It's like right there.
It's not. If you ask people from New Zealand, it's not.
Yeah,
well, country-wise,
because
yes.
New Zealand is its own country.
You're talking about the whole continent. It's the same thing. Yeah, continent.
Australia's not a continent.
Oh, Oceania or whatever it's called.
Oceania. Yes.
No. I'm still going with Australia because I'm holding on to Pluto, so I'm not letting that go either. Once you start calling it Oceania, you might as well just get rid of Pluto.
But Baobab
will always be number 9.
They're known as the tree of life because they live for 200 years. We're actually going to talk about perception.
That's not very long.
For a tree? No,
years?
That seems very young. Do you mean 2,000 years? Because that would make more sense.
Yeah, because they're incredibly wide.
Double check. You're right. That doesn't. They're very maybe.
Maybe it's 200,000 years.
I mean, that seems excessive. 200,000 years.
Well, I mean, they're so big. Like
a 2,000-year-old tree seems reasonable. Like that could exist. 200 years seems like it'd be an older tree, but not crazy.
Aren't the
2,000 years. You're right.
redwoods
For 2,000 years.
all right? 2,000. Yeah.
It's longevity.
All
Yeah.
right.
So it's
some of the giant redwoods, the
200 years. Once I
sequoias
said that, I was like,
are
that's not right.
approaching that.
That's not very long. Yeah, they live and grow for 2,000 years. So it's much
Right.
longer than most trees. So
Right. So I could see how it could be the tree of life, but yeah, they're I don't see how they can be invasive also, because
I think when they start growing,
they aren't.
you don't know what they are, and then they take
they don't grow fast. They do grow big,
and they cause problems once they get there because they're so.
Oh, they
big.
just you can't get rid of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can possibly grow as fast as bamboo, but like you see how big they get. That it can make sense. It would take them hundreds of years to get that wide at a natural growth.
Some people like the way they look, and some people find them bad. But this goes into we're going to actually talk about perception. There's more than meets the eye. The trees will come back later. Next. Gotta read the Bible because Chris will get mad. Gonna read John 3:16. Do you guys know of this?
I see a lot of signs for it at wrestling events.
Yes, at wrestling, football games, people hold the signs. That's why I picked that up, because people see it, but nobody actually knows what it is. You see it all the time. Never is. So what it says is, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believed in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." Not to be confused with Austin 3:16.
It says, "I just stomped a mud hole in you."
But
is that what it is?
Yeah. He said it to mock Jake the Snake Roberts, who was a born-again Christian at the time, going through his recovery of his problems, who he was wrestling in King of the Ring. And so Austin just said that, just for spontaneously mocking him because people bring those signs to wrestling events and sporting events and things. So that's why he said it. And then
Jake?
You're making fun of a guy who's going through a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what's your connection
Jake
with
the Snake has gone through recovery a lot.
Yes. Most addicts will do that.
Yeah, sometimes people take multiple times to fully recover, I guess. Or start the recovery over and over again.
Been consistently clean for a while now. Because of
Diamond Dallas Page.
Yes.
DDP.
His story is a whole nother very inspirational thing. He didn't start wrestling until I think he was like 40. He was a pro wrestler and believed in himself.
So there's still hope.
Yeah, well, no. I found that out firsthand, that wrestling is not something you take up when you're 40 usually. It works your body.
A little bit. So what's this have to do with perception? The 316.
I never knew what it meant. Perceived, what was it?
Yeah, it really has nothing to do with football, does it?
It doesn't. It's not. I guess it's just people were trying to. It is like advertising.
No, I think it was more like a missionary style thing where you're calling for people to read that and to know that basically if you believe in Jesus you can be saved. I think that's all it was kind of like a.
So wait, it was like a viral marketing thing? Yeah, that people were trying to get people interested in the Bible, and then because it was there so much, they converted it to mean something different.
I don't think they convert. Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, like that's what
it became like a meme type deal.
Yeah.
But I think initially it was to convert people or to get the word out.
See, it fits into perception as the people that started doing it thinking it's a good idea to get the word out and get people. Instead, it was turned into a meme or joke of it. It's kind of different people viewed it as different ways. It all makes a difference. You are and how you look at things. Everything can matter. But seeing the perception, Austin 316 would be that became a very big wrestling thing. But him mocking somebody who is struggling with alcohol and drug addictions, like someone in his recovery, by doing that, but then do one of the best-selling T-shirts of the 90s. So benefits one person, but it's not good for others. Alex, why are you angry?
Hey, that is my intro. It has to happen. The thing that's been annoying me this week is I don't know what the verbiage for it is. It's not scam advertising. It might be. It might also just be considered false advertising. I don't know how much time people spend watching reels and videos. I keep getting these advertisements for
I had 140 today.
what are those advent calendar doors, but not for like Christmas, but for just like Halloween, and they're gnome based. And it's like, oh, you can get 23 or 31 different gnomes, one for every day. And it's like, I want it, but it's the sketchiest thing ever. And I can't believe that it's real, and I don't want to send them money and then get nothing in return. And that's frustrating because the videos make me want to buy the thing.
I mean, they are very effective advertising then. If they make you
Yes.
want to buy
Well,
it.
yeah, but I can't verify that the company's real.
And you know what?
Yeah.
When you get those ads on like Facebook or something, and you're like, well, if Facebook's running the ad, I should think that it's a trusted site. They do not.
Yeah. You
They do
think
not
it's
vet them that much because I
There's
think
this,
I
legitimate.
some of them look really sketchy. Their websites are just. They look like they're going to scrape all your data and take all your information if you put in
That's true.
payment information
yeah.
on it. They look terrible. I wouldn't trust any of them.
I usually go to the contact us thing and send them an email or just call the phone number that's there. And if it gets you anywhere, it's like, oh, okay, someone's actually at least there. But like I've done that before where you call the phone number and they're like, this number is no longer connected. And you're like, there's no way this is a company then.
And shipping took so long that I was worried. Like I bought credit cards. You know, I have Pokemon cards. And yeah, I got
the credit
those.
card skins.
Like, they shipped from Australia. So at some point you start wondering, like, is this real? And just do some of my dollar dues.
Yeah, I got linked up with a GoFundMe through something like that.
Oh.
I still haven't received it. It's been a while.
So there was a there was an advertisement that I saw for realistic spider earrings. So like this guy apparently makes like, and it's like $30 for a single earring. So like if you want a whole set, it's almost $100. But the advertisement I saw was not real. But doing some like Google image searching and going backwards, I got to his Etsy page. And then like actually found a link that was real. So far that I've also found him on Instagram, and like daily he'll have to post Instagram stories where it's like, oh, if you see this link, that's not me. Someone took my pictures and photoshopped a earring that they would sell you from to me on it. And it's just like, wow, that's people, the effort people go through to scam is just like annoying.
Scamming's big business, man. You can get a lot of money if you scam. Because all you got to do, if you scam like 20% of the people, you're getting a good amount
for
like not doing anything. If you're not even like producing a product, you might as well just scam people at this rate. Especially if you're international, who's going to put out the effort to internationally like prosecute you? Especially if you're in a country that doesn't cooperate that well with the American authorities.
No tradition.
If you scam the Americans,
but I mean, there's that.
You probably don't have any fear.
There's that one dude, Ryan. He's on TikTok and everything.
Spider-Man, and he's got a master's in cybersecurity.
Oh yeah.
Well, he used to be Spider-Man at Disneyland, not like in the movies. Like he worked for the Disney Corporation, and he went to college for like cybersecurity or whatever it was.
I'm just plugging a bunch of random Instagram stuff here now. But so you get ads for advertisers for every
gnomes.
Yeah, for gnomes.
For currently
sidetracked.
That's very specifically targeted to you.
Oh, yes, it's a good job of targeting ads.
And that's why I don't feel like it's a real thing. Because like, why do you have Halloween and Christmas and like Valentine's Day based gnome advent calendars?
Well, you need to turn off all of your social media like permissions on your phone and stuff, because it's probably listening to you and tracking you like crazy.
Hey. I've learned that social media can read your mind, because I'll be watching a movie on the TV and go, oh, who's that guy? And start to type in his first name, and Google's like, oh, you mean this guy? It's like, yeah, you knew who I wanted to know without being connected to the thing that is happening.
No, it's because it's listening to your microphone. Here's the show you're watching, and it goes, oh, you're trying to find this guy from that show.
Yeah, that's horrible. Like, it should not do that.
So we'll show you.
So I did this experiment years ago. Like, it was, I would say 10 years ago. where it first came out, like Facebook and stuff, they're listening through your microphone. Me and somebody else, we stepped out of the room and without our phones, and we're like, hey, we're going to talk about taking a trip to Belfast, Ireland, someplace we never looked up before, and we'll just say it. Never search it, ever. Don't ever look it up. Just, we'll talk about it all the time. And we talked about it, and nothing ever showed up. And one day, it was like 3 years ago, I get an ad on Facebook to travel to Belfast, Ireland. And then if you, on the Facebook ads, you can click on how did this ad get to me? And it was like, and it showed like 7 years before that. It was from an ad agency thing. I'm like, they were listening.
But,
yeah, they're always listening. It's
usually
horrible.
Yeah, it just never, I guess nobody ever bought that kind of packet for somebody going to Belfast, Ireland.
Nobody cared to try to sell you to Ireland tickets. That sounds right.
And then I finally went to Belfast, Ireland, actually. I went there last year. It did work.
I say, please like and subscribe to this channel. Leave a positive review. Josh and Tim, if you listen, leave in the comments. Just dropping people's names and see if they actually respond. Find out who listens. Also, help Floyd become in and get trips around the world. He wants to visit fabulous places like Georgia or
other G places.
Belfast. Jordan is spelled with a J.
I thought it was a G, and that's why it was confusing.
Jordan?
Yeah. It's foreign.
A country? That's where the name comes from.
You can spell Jeff with a G, all right? Like, don't even, like...
Geoff?
That's made up.
That's Geoff.
Geoff.
Like, so it's all just on how you choose to pronounce things.
Language they speak in Jordan.
Jordan seems off to pronounce with a G. I don't even know how you would get that off.
What language they... Jordanese. Did anything exciting happen this week, Floyd? You gonna teach me, Daddy?
Well, exciting. Something exciting happened about 23 years ago. September 11th, 2001. United States was attacked by terrorists, and it caused about 2,977 people to lose their lives on that day. 2 planes flew into the World Trade Center in New York. Another flew into the Pentagon in D.C., and one was crashed in Pennsylvania through the efforts of the people on board who didn't want that plane going to another building or wherever it was headed to. And that sparked a couple wars and countless other things that made a domino effect to the world we live in today. So, pretty significant event, September 11th, 2001.
That
hasn't
a couple
forgotten.
years later.
I know, playing Spider-Man 2 on the PS2. It was so upsetting.
That's where you're linking this?
I was linking it to somebody who went to a war that started from there, but there's nobody else here.
Yes, but originally, so Spider-Man 2 was coming out at the same time, and like they had to change all the advertisement because like there was a trailer that the Twin Towers were in, and then in the video game, it was like the best free-swinging game until the new Spider-Man 2, which is technically Spider-Man 4, but either way, that you go through and like you could swing to that part in New York, and then there's no buildings there, and you can't swing anymore, so you just fall out of the sky. Changed my life forever.
It also hurt.
That was your takeaway from 9/11 was changed my video game. They changed Zoolander.
Well,
and they
Zoolander
changed Lilo and
the
Stitch.
week after, I think it was, and it did not do well because there was a record album that also a picture of the first attacks on the World Trade Center on it, and
1993 or 94.
Yeah, when they bombed the garage.
Yeah, they got a 15-passenger van or something like that, and they tried to blow it up in the parking garage.
A year later was Oklahoma City. There was an album that was released, and it had that on the cover, and that did not do over well. Year after that, on September 11th, 2002, Johnny Unitas died. Yeah. And then in 2003, on September 11th, John Ritter died.
And that changed television forever.
Changed the show he was on. I guess as well as Scrubs.
Yeah.
So it changed.
And then it
itself
brought
straight.
David Spade back into the limelight.
David Spade.
Exactly.
It's better than Andy Dick.
So basically, it was the 9/11 just made everything worse.
No matter what year,
It's a
9/11
domino effect.
9/11
Yeah.
just comes around constantly. All right. So I made you both read or listen to The Little Prince because it all started because of my wallet. I should have brought it down, but I didn't think to. And I was
What?
too late for me to go grab it. What? Have you seen my burner wallet?
Your wallet?
My-
No.
It's The Little Prince. Always
And
make
did you
fun
say
of-
your burner wallet?
So you
Yeah.
carry a wallet just so if you get robbed, you just give them the wallet and say, "Here you go."
It's a book. Little book. So it looks like it's The Little Prince. People, you say, like, isn't that a children's book? I say, no. I stand by that The Little Prince is not a children's book, that it's metal AF.
Yeah, I don't think it's technically a children's book. I wouldn't say
think-
it as metal as Ben wants it to be, but
I think it can be enjoyed by children.
anything can be
probably
enjoyed by children.
I think there's much deeper to it. Well, first off, okay, you guys like to explain, I guess, go over the plot of The Little Prince for the people out there who did not read it or listen to it. Spoilers for a 70, 80-year-old book now. Second
Way
seller.
older than that.
A
It was
French
written.
book.
It's written right before World War II.
Oh.
Um,
I didn't realize it was
yeah, actually, the author died in World War II. But
It's-
so he was
because
flying
he's-
off for the French. He was teamed up with Americans, but flying French missions because that's when Germany had occupied France already in 1944. So they didn't have a military that he was working with. They were kind of like people that had fled already. He was working with them when he was flying a reconnaissance plane because he was actually a pilot. So the book is about
1943. Is where it was published.
1943. Okay.
First release.
And then he died
first
the
day
next year.
published.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So basically, story takes place where an aviator crashes in a desert, and he comes across a boy who's a little prince, and the prince is telling his story where he is from a little planet that just had 3 volcanoes, 2 of them active, 1 extinct. And
But you never know.
he was tending to the land, and the only thing he was able to grow was a rose. That had 4 thorns.
Well, no, because he grows trees.
Oh, trees.
Yeah.
But he's got to be
Bushes.
careful of the Baobabs because they are, I guess, invasive. He travels to different worlds. He meets different people that are kind of caricatures of adults in the world. And then he finally makes it to Earth. He meets a fox who teaches him about how the value of relationships.
You mean
He meets a
he's becoming
snake who
attachment.
teaches him about I don't know, about something. The snake is
yeah,
weird.
so-
we're gonna have This is
So
our-
the teach
we get through
the snake doesn't teach him as much as the snake is able to help him solve his problem.
Yeah, right. I guess he's not learning anything from the snake.
Yeah.
So yeah, he tells the stories of the Little Prince tells the stories, but the aviator is also telling the story to Little Prince of how he used to draw things when he was younger. He drew a elephant being swallowed by a boa constrictor, but all the
inside.
adults saw it as a hat. And then he drew the inside. He drew the elephant from the inside, and they told him he should just do something
The
else.
snake from the inside.
Yeah, snake.
Oh,
But
yeah,
no,
that's
that's why I don't think it's a children's book. I think it's an adult book trying to tell you not to lose the wonder that is childhood. Like, always see things from an open perspective of like wide eyes and things like that. Like that's what I think. And I don't even think the kid's actually a prince. I think that the guy just calls him a prince because like he doesn't have a name. Yeah, like the guy just calls him Prince. Like he's just like,
I
oh,
don't
you're a child.
nobody has a name in that book.
Little Prince.
I think
don't
the
say
guy
anybody's
does.
name.
I don't know if he.
The
No?
guy is
No.
the narrator.
No?
He's referred to as simply as the narrator. And
I
then
mean, I really think the
but
takeaway from that
and
whole
what
story
happens
is
with
to
the Little Prince. Eventually, You think he goes back to his planet?
He does.
Yeah.
You can't prove that he doesn't go back home.
No, see, I have very different view and take on the Little Prince than you guys. His views of traveling around the world and seeing all the way adults are, just stuck and not caring about the things that are around them.
Or
And
not. So
you
his
guys cannot.
planets are basically stars, and he flies on a bunch of balloons, and he visits all the other people on their tiny little worlds, and they all have a very specific perspective on how they see the world. And then when he gets to our planet and he meets the snake straight up tells him that, like, I'm a venomous, like, deadly snake. You shouldn't, like, mess with me. But come back in a few days and I'll help you out.
Send it back to where he came from.
Yeah.
And he does it.
Yeah.
So I think you guys just cannot
He
see.
does.
You cannot see the elephant inside of the snake or the boy inside of the snake. The snake was a liar. Prince.
Except the Little Prince straight up tells you, if you look up to the stars, I'll be the stars that laugh.
The Little Prince says that. The Little Prince is depressing. Not depressing. He is depression. He lists all the stories.
I don't think so.
He talks about
So
how
you think the Little Prince is the embodiment of depression?
Borderline is depression, questionably of autistic, about how he does not like to, I guess, rise the way he's presented by the narrator, of how he doesn't care for the way adults like to have conversations, talk about what does something weigh, what is this. When they talk, they don't want to ask the important questions.
I don't think you're seeing the elephant through the hat, because
you're seeing
the
it
Little
like
Prince
the adult.
still exists. Yeah, you're seeing it that he dies.
I have openly given up on having small talk. I've said this, that I don't want to
like
add up because people are talking around and just like, or small talk, and to just say we're just naming cities in Pennsylvania at one point. So I would just have small. If I'm going to talk to somebody, I'm going to ask questions I want to know the answers to. Like, I'm just going to, because I want to know. I'm going to talk to people about things like that. It really confuses people when you just ask them those type of questions.
I don't know. The other day we did that in our group of friends that were gaming, and because I was thrown off when someone asked me what my Harley Quinn's favorite snack was, and I was like, "Who has a favorite snack?" And then Tim's response was, "What's your top third dinosaur?" And everyone had no problem answering that question. So I think if you ask people what their favorite dinosaur is, they'll be okay with that.
But not their favorite snack?
Not your partner's favorite snack.
Oh, okay.
But then that also opens a whole can of worms of what is a snack.
I know. Alex had this conversation. We're not getting into that. We're discussing the Little Prince. And so I say he's depressed when he's talking about these sunsets. When he feels down, he likes to watch sunsets. And the one day he watched 34 sunsets in a day. He was just moving and moving.
So I really think you're looking at this as an adult.
Asked, were you sad that day? He just did not answer. He did not acknowledge him. The fox tells him about how you shouldn't watch friends die, and that's the reason he tells the person. He tells the narrator he doesn't want him around when the snake is going to bite him. Here's the Little Prince.
Hold on. I don't think he ever answers a question. Does he ever answer a question?
And because children don't deal like that. Adults deal in that sort of absolute. And that's why I think Ben is viewing this as an adult and not as a child. He doesn't have the wonder.
Viewing it as he's stuck on this planet. He's been there for a year. And he's just coming to the realization that anybody he knows is left him. His one friend is going to leave him. He's going to be stuck here further. He's never getting back to his road.
No, he's coming to the realization that adults are cruddy, and he doesn't want to hang out with these people anymore. Nothing on this planet is. He meets a rose bush that tells him roses aren't special, and he's like, "But my rose is special."
Rose. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the fox told him that's now his rose.
In his perspective, his things are special. His things are unique. But from the perspective of other people, all of this stuff is just pointless.
He regrets leaving.
And he doesn't want to be dealing with this anymore. Yeah, because he wants to go back to where things are beautiful and things are meaningful.
No way of knowing where his planet actually is. He doesn't know how to get there.
It's up. Yeah. He lightens his load and lets him float up. He literally says, "I will make you lighter."
His snake
but you're looking at it from a realistic snake perspective, where a snake actually doesn't talk, can't really do anything. But in this story, it has the magical powers of taking you back to where you came from. He acknowledges that the snake is
venomous, and because that's why he doesn't. He tells the narrator not to come near it, so he won't get hurt.
Yeah, but
the
I
whole
think
thing-
that's the point of viewing things from an adult
Well,
perspective and a child perspective,
if
is
the
that
snake,
snakes are deadly to adults. Kids
The
don't
Little
think
Prince
that way.
wanted to protect the adult from seeing it. He said it's going to look like
Yeah,
a certain
it's
way,
going
and
to
he didn't
look
want.
like I'm dead, but I'm not.
yes,
Don't worry
because
about me.
he,
When you look up to the skies, you'll see me. I'll be the one that laughs. For everybody else, they'll just see stars. When you look up, you'll see the
that's
stars that
exactly what
laugh.
someone would, and that's exactly what someone would say as they're accepting their own death.
Someone
that
who's
they
full
know
of
what's coming.
childhood wonder and
The little,
delight would say.
And he said,
oh,
I'll be an empty shell, and there's nothing sad about an empty shell.
Exactly.
He'll be back on
I'm
his
pretty
planet
sure you're
with his
viewing this prince in a realistic view, and that's why
sheep
you
in a
think it's
box.
dark.
foreshadowing and the bookends. It starts with him talking about a snake item inside of a snake's stomach. When he goes back to find the Little Prince's body,
See, you're looking at
cannot
the
be
wrong
found.
point. He's talking
it will
about
be-
skill and perspective. He's not talking about a snake. The snake just happens to be what the picture is.
Yes, it's foreshadowing.
It's not about the snake. It's about giving up on your dreams. It's about holding on to wonder and seeing things from a different perspective. And you're not seeing them
And
from a
he's
different
tell-
perspective.
he's
You're
saying
seeing
not-
the snake as a snake.
No, he's
He's saying-
seeing the snake as a hat.
saying
Yeah,
not to give up.
in this case,
Yeah, as you say,
you're
it's
seeing the
about-
snake as a
it's
hat.
about not giving up on your dreams. And I'm saying the Little Prince is about he gave up. Like it's the Little Prince.
No, he doesn't. He goes home. He goes back to his rose with his sheep in a box and a fence and everything. You're viewing
If
it that
you
he dies.
happy ending,
He doesn't
if
die.
you view
He
it
goes
as a
home.
happy ending, yes,
He goes
did.
home.
And even to the Baobab trees of how he rips them up. The tree of life. He wants to rip up the tree of life.
You are seeing a hat here. This you don't see stars that laugh. You have no joy in the
I think
sky.
that the Baobab tree is just because it's a big tree and he lives on a small planet, so you can't have that big tree on a small planet. That's why he rips those up. I wouldn't say because he's ripping up life.
I would say you probably have some sort of crazy metaphor for the banker and the lamplighter then too, which mean nothing. They're just people that do their jobs.
No, they don't mean nothing. They are like the caricatures of people like just doing work to just do it is the lamplighter.
Yeah.
Like he just keeps lighting it every day or every time the sun sets and rises every minute. Even though he just wants to rest, he has to light it.
He has to keep doing it. Yeah.
The banker owns or he's counting nothing essentially.
He's counting.
He's counting all the stars and their currency to him.
But he owns them, but he doesn't really.
Yeah. The Little Prince.
Yeah, but then what about the king who rules over his planet, but there's no one on his planet to rule?
Yeah, he's king of nothing.
He doesn't want to become.
I think I'm starting to think you guys are jaded and old. Like you don't see.
Well, and then the
you
king
don't
also
see the glory.
He gives reasonable commands, or like
yes, like romantic.
You know, he'll
well, yes, because he realizes you're not going to listen to what he says.
No, he's giving the sun. He says the sun. I'll tell the sun to set around whatever 7 p.m. something like that.
Yeah,
when the sun would naturally set anyway. Then he would command it to do it then.
Yeah.
So it's like he knows it's fake, but he likes being in charge. And
no control over anything. He's aware of that, but he wants to pretend. But that's what I say. The Little Prince does not want to become like that, and he's instead giving in to.
Yeah, he wants to stay like a child with wonder and glory, and view the world in a positive light.
Then the drunkard who's drinking to forget he's a drunkard.
Forget that he drinks. But even as the story goes, the narrator, who is the one telling people to stay as a child, not because the Little Prince at no point is telling people to do that. That's the narrators. But parts of his story.
Yeah, because he's seeing the kid from the kid's perspective. He's looking at the life.
And he's becoming parts of his, or when he yells at the Little Prince, when he's trying to he gets frustrated by his plane and the thorn. Just the Little Prince just asking about thorns, and he yells at him. But just things like that. It's the Little Prince is sad, and he is depression, and he just gives into it.
I think you wanted this to be a lot darker than it is. I took happiness from this book. That there's joy in things.
I said I apparently viewed this very different. You can look at it as the joy.
I mean,
but you're largely with people with depression. that they are projecting a joy to others, but inside it's very you're lost. Like the
I don't know.
Prince.
I don't know where you got depression from this whole thing.
Apparently,
I'm gonna say a pony boy here.
I associate
like-
Prince depression a lot better than you guys, so that's what he's
because I don't want to see the negatives. I'm gonna be a pony boy, and everything is golden.
what he's trying to make it all good for others, but he's accepted he's not going to get.
The Little Prince isn't doing anything. He's just trying
He's
to
not-
find
yeah.
things that he's just walking around.
He's not doing anything. He's just exploring, really.
Yeah, he
He's
was just
doing
like, what else
the
is out
map
there?
guy wanted
He's doing what a little kid would do.
The map guy.
The Little Prince
He's
is
trying to-
just a beautiful child.
He's not a kid either. He's running a planet. He has he is a
Yeah, but
He
you're
is a
looking at
child,
it from
because he meets other people and refers to them as adults.
You're looking at it from a real world perspective. He just was there as a kid. He's
Yeah.
a kid.
Snake. Snake is a liar.
Is he though?
The snake helped him get home.
The narrator's perspective, yes, but from the Little Prince's perspective, I don't think he is.
He helped it.
He took him back. He's making him go back to
He
where
let
he
him
came
go
from.
home.
What's
And you're going to argue that the Little Prince apparently has a tangible body on his own planet that he then rides through the Earth's atmosphere on balloons unfazed and shows up on Earth and it's fine. Maybe he's not tangible until he's on Earth. Or who says he's ever tangible? No one ever touches him.
suspension of disbelief.
Ooh.
I'm fine with all that other things until that part. The Little Prince.
You're
snake.
you're the one who's you're too sad here. You got to look at the life.
Snake
You got to
is
look at the happiness,
the
the laughter, and the
The
style.
Little Prince is and then the snake is.
It's about joy and wanting to hold on to that golden hour. Look at things in a light of positivity and happiness.
The golden
about the
hour of
ball.
sunset.
See the snake. Yeah, see the snake, not the hat.
Well, I was told to play a game because apparently you guys were not great at games and we need to give you a chance to redeem yourselves. So we're talking about perception and things that more than meets the eye. We're going to talk about meets the eye.
Transformers.
Your Transformers.
Yes. I do have a lot of Transformers. But we will, so we're just going to go through it, and it's not as overly complicated as last week. But we're going to name what do they transform into. So,
What?
0 or 1.
1.
So you get to pick who goes first.
Alex.
We'll practice one as well.
I'm so
Explain it.
confused.
So it's what I'll name you the character. You say what they transform into. So it's like if I say Optimus Prime, you guys would say
Peterbilt.
Ford
Mack truck.
Freightliner FLT
I see.
Cabover.
That's the thing. Like,
Correct.
do you want us to be very specific? Like, I don't know what year Ironhide is. Like, it's just.
So
I'm
there's
gonna be
the
terrible
only
at this
reason.
game, by the way.
So with Optimus Prime is because they had to change him later, and this is a conversation I had with our father about it because I said that he was one of the only people that would probably actually notice when they changed it. Optimus Prime used to be a cabover, and in the movies he is not a cabover.
Right.
Because they don't really do that anymore.
They do not.
I liked Cab over Optimus Prime better.
Yes,
than-
I prefer the original, the flat base. Yeah, for people that don't know, Optimus Prime and cabover is pretty much straight up flat fronted truck.
All right, to be fair, a cab over is where your inside of your truck is above your engine. So to get to the engine, you have to pull down the entire shell of your truck, which is the seat and
Yes.
everything.
And then
So the
European
cab
style.
is over the engine.
standard. I don't know what to call it. But okay. So we're gonna do one Autobot, one Decepticons, and then I got a Beast Wars. And then I do have if we need a tiebreaker, but hopefully you guys are much better. We'll see.
I'm terrible at it, but
So-
let's go.
Go. You went first because that was decided. What is Perceptor?
He's a microscope, isn't he?
Microscope.
He's an Autobot.
Perceptor he's an Autobot. He's
A
introduced
red
in the movie.
Autobot.
Man, this
Microscope.
is going to be so bad.
So Blaster.
What, you don't know this one? Is it black? Wait, I was thinking it's the other one now. All right.
Blaster. Is it a howitzer? Like field gun?
It is not. Alex, Jesus, Blasters. You're not going to steal a point, but
No, I thought Blaster was one of the cassette tapes.
cassette tape. He is a ghetto blaster.
Dude, I was right.
That is
I
why
thought
his
that was
name
Soundwave.
Those are Decepticons.
Oh,
Lester
okay.
is
All right, now.
Lester is the red. He's the good guy version of Soundwave.
Okay,
He's
right.
the boombox.
So, Alex, what is Reflector?
So we're going Decepticons now. Reflector. Is he one of the Constructicons? I mean, if he's a Constructicon, I don't know which one he would be. Like that would make it harder. But I guess I don't know. I'm just gonna say he's a front end loader.
Wrong. So, do you know? You want to guess?
Mirror?
He is a Kodak camera.
Uh,
Specifically,
all right.
his reflector. Cameras have mirrors that reflect. Okay. So, what is Bone Crusher?
Bone Crusher? Is he that car crane crush thing?
A what?
I can't think of the word.
Also would have accepted
No, like
90s rap, but not 90s rapper.
that
Are
like
you talking about the crane that
recycling.
has the claw to?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Like a car recycling plant thing.
I know. Constructicon. He's a bulldozer. He's part of Devastator. Okay.
So we got Beast Wars.
Yes. What, Alex? What is depth charge?
Is he the Manta Ray?
Right.
Or is he a Stingray? All right, he's a Manta Ray.
No, he is a
Tulsa.
Manta Ray. I thought that would be the harder of the two. So, right. What is Inferno? Beast Wars. They're animals.
Inferno, a dragon?
Oh. Wait, he's Inferno? I thought he was Antferno.
No,
Because he's a fire ant. He's a giant fire ant.
A fire ant.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Inferno fire ants. All right.
All right, so I need to brush up on my Transformer lore because I know nothing.
Yes, always. We're gonna
I haven't seen it since the 80s.
Cartoon movie is awesome. Now we're gonna play. All right. So another. Hopefully we got there to the station this time and didn't get too far off the tracks. Check out my wife's Etsy store. You guys should go buy some stuff there. It is Mama of 3 Boutique. It's on Etsy, and you can use promo code Wrecking for 10% off purchases. Also, check out Blizzo on Instagram at PHLIZO Blizzo. I should also follow Alex. I mean, you can follow everywhere around his house, or on Google Maps is where you prefer, because you follow him around his house. See, we're done. So, see you guys later. Bye, Candios.
Deuces.
Adios.